Hello, troopers, and welcome to the 501st Com Chatter. I am Chloe.
I'm Will, and happy 2025, everyone.
Happy New Year, guys.
Uh, First episode of 2025. This feels weird, doesn't it? It feels weird. It's 25 years since 2000.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That is
That means
crazy.
I'm 25 this year, guys. I feel old. When people are like, oh yeah, I was born in 2005. Like you were saying the other day that like someone at your work was born in 2005 and you were like, I was literally watching like Revenge of the Sith when you were born. Like, it's crazy.
It is mad, isn't it, to think? And we know as well that this year is it's 20 years since Revenge of the Sith.
Yep.
So
we're going to have a lot of Revenge of the Sith products and stuff coming out, which we're very excited for.
Yes, we hope you guys had a great New Year.
Mm-hmm.
We hope you celebrated it without harm, with friends, family. I got my foot open. It's all good. I'm all good. Don't worry. It's not a problem. I'm all fine. All right. Don't panic. But yeah, little injury. See in the new year, but I'm all good. We are here with episode 6 of the Skeleton Crew. I can't believe
there's 2 more episodes left.
I can't believe it. I don't think we're going to have a lot to go over this one because not major like Easter eggs and stuff happened in it. It was quite a short episode as well. I think it was the second shortest so far.
It was a great episode though, don't get us wrong. There was a lot of great scenes.
Character development in this was on par, and some of the acting, especially from like the kids, different class. Especially
considering they are just kids, like this is really cool.
Yeah, I believe they're like, I think all of them are like 12. So, but shout out to the kids, especially KB, because this episode in particular, and it was nice to see because I think everyone else has had a bit of a
chance at having a bit of action going on,
but being more sort of
KB.
Being sort of like the main focus. So sort of episode 1, we sort of really see Wim be the like main attraction. When they go to the planet that they think is Aten, Akron, I think it is. It's sort of Neil's episode, isn't it? Because it's all about him, like being friends with Hanya and like him sort of stepping up. And it's nice that this one has been about KB. I mean, you could even say last one's was about sort of Fern a bit. With obviously dealing with Jod and that, but yeah, so it's nice to see that. We have a little bit of news, not a lot, but
that is because we have an episode on Sunday, so like between Sunday and now, like obviously it's not been as many days, but we do have some. There is also rumors about Lego as well, which there's not been like official pictures or any announcements from Lego, but there's hearsay in the community right now where they're going to be releasing some of these Lego sets, and the big one that everyone's talking about is they're going to be doing like a UCS Death Star. Now obviously we've seen Death Stars in Lego before, but this one is rumored to be like the most expensive Lego set ever released.
I think, if I remember, it's meant to be £999, basically 1,000.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. I'm just going to put it out there.
That one might break the bank.
I don't think we're going to get that one.
No.
Unless, now see, this is where I'm going to jinx myself, isn't it? But this is where that Lego set is going to come with Fives, Echo, Cody, Rex.
No.
It's going to come with Jesse. It's going to come with all the clones, 99. And I'm going to be like, wow, I've got to get it.
But maybe a like Camino set for the future.
Don't, fingers crossed.
That would be very
But
cool.
speaking of
Um,
Lego,
However, I don't think the whole of the 501st are going to be coming with a Death Star set.
anniversary
So-
fix.
Don't worry.
Well, you know, that's one to look forward to. There's a lot of Lego excitement this year within Star Wars. I'm quite looking forward to the again, this is a rumor, but I find with Lego, when people do a rumor, it tends to be pretty accurate. So we're supposedly getting a turbo tank set, which I think would be quite cool, because I think it's meant to have like the clone, what's it called, the Bakara sort of clone, you know, the like purple,
like marine
yes,
sort,
that's it, the Marine Corps, and we're supposedly getting a 327th Star Corps battle pack. Please, please, please give us Commander Bly, give us 327.
That would be very cool.
But exciting times. What was yesterday?
It was January 1st yesterday.
And what comes out on January 1st?
So we had the Oddball set.
The Arc 170.
That's all. We had 2 other sets, which we did buy today.
So,
which I was going to say, speaking of Lego, we did buy 2 sets today. So we are going to show you those. We haven't built them yet because obviously we only bought them like a few hours ago.
Yeah.
But we'll show you the boxes.
Which one should I start with? So I start with the ship, or should I start with
They're both
the
ships.
Jedi?
Okay.
Which one should I start with?
Any.
Okay.
Should we start with the big one?
Okay. Well, I think everyone knew I was getting this one.
So this is the Star Wars MIDI scale acclimator assault ship. So this is like the one that looks similar to the Venator, but it's like the more kind of triangle shaped one.
The one that's like at the end of Attack of the Clones, and you see it in Attack of the Clones as well on Geonosis.
Yeah.
But
So
beautiful. It looks so
and
cool.
this is the same like scale wise as the Invisible Hand, the Super Star Destroyer, the Tantive 4, and the Millennium Falcon.
And
like
the home one.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm very excited about this. When it was announced that we were getting this, I was like 100% getting it because I love the Acclimator anyway. Like I remember, I was like, oh, it's a pretty cool ship. But then I can't remember who it was, but I watched a video on, I think it was YouTube. I can't remember who it was, but they did a video and it was literally all about the Acclimator, how good and big and powerful and everything about it. And I was like, I really like this ship. Like, I really like it. And I think for me, it is up there with the Venator. And I do hope maybe this year, I don't know if it will be, but I would love to see a mid-scale Venator, one of these.
So are you saying if they release that, then we'll end up with 2 Venators?
Yeah, but you could
the
have
big one and the little.
But my argument is, if you get the Venator mid-scale, you can put it within the Invisible Hand, and you can literally have that opening scene where the Invisible Hand against the Venator, and that's going to look sick, isn't it, on display? Are we getting it done? Yes. If they do it, 100%. But yes, so this is our first one. Very cool.
I think it would have been cool if it was like one of the anniversary sets and we got like a little Jessie or an Echo or something. That would have been cool. But you have everything, I suppose, and the set is really cool on its own anyway.
Yeah.
So this one is one of those ones that doesn't come with any figures.
But we have seen that
build.
some people with their builds, not just this one, but like other ones, like the Invisible Hand, they do put like a little Grievous with it, which I think is cool. But I also quite like the fact that it's just the ship on its own. So that's quite cool.
Yeah. And also, guys, we will show you these once they are built.
Yes.
And I think by next episode, we both would have built them by
then. Yes, 100%. Right, we're going to end the episode here, guys.
We got some Lego build. So the next one. So obviously, if you didn't see our last episode where we talked about what we got for Christmas, I got Will the Anakin Jedi Interceptor little ship, like the yellow one that he has at the start of Revenge of the Sith, with the little buzz droids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the Lego, cool. I got him the Lego set of it.
You got, I will say, you got me the 2014 version,
yes,
which is probably the best one out of the lot of them.
Yeah.
But
there was another Jedi Interceptor that came out on January 1st, and Will was like, I think we should get this one to go with the other one. So I'm like, great, what have I started?
Well, I think...
But also, I do really like the set, and the minifigures that come with it are really cool. And
But there was reason behind, from both of us, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because we saw a video, and it was like someone had positioned them with them like sort of flying by side.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's really cool. And then it was like, maybe that one will look cool with this. And then because of the minifigs, you were like, well, this can go with this one. So we got the Ahsoka Jedi Interceptor. I'm pretty sure we only see this in like one episode of the Clone Wars. When Anakin's is like basically destroyed, and Ahsoka jumps out of hers onto his and saves it. Very cool looking Jedi Interceptor as well. Looks a bit like Kenobi's, but very detailed. From the video that we saw as well, it comes with a very unique piece of Lego, which is the canopy, because it's already printed on, and the shape of it is unique, so that's quite cool. Also the minifigs as well, top notch. So you get
obviously Ahsoka because it's her ship.
So this is Clone Wars Ahsoka.
Yeah. So she's wearing the like burgundy sort of outfit that she wore between like, what was it? Between like
I believe as well
5 or something.
I might be wrong, but I believe when we see it and it crashes, like, and she jumps on Anakin's and saves him, I believe that is the start of her leaving the Order arc, because they get a call to come back to the temple because there's been a bombing.
Yep.
So, and it also comes with an Anakin.
Yep. So obviously we did get the Anakin with the Anakin Starfighter, but this one doesn't have the little like mouthpiece, and like his printing is a little bit different. And I thought we could have one in the ship and then one like on display.
I think put this one with Padme. I think.
Yeah.
Because the other one has the.
Or we can have when we have the Venator on display when we get a place, we can have Anakin and Rex.
That was a good point, because we did see in a video today someone had a Venator in a box table display, and they had added on to the name plaque, and they had added in Echo and Anakin with Yularen and Rex.
It wasn't Echo, it was 5.
Sorry, yeah, that was my bad. It was 5, Rex, Anakin, and Yularen.
Yeah. So
they added in like 2 extra ones. But this was a bit of a recent, like a bit of a sort of a last minute thing, wasn't it?
Also, you do have an astromech as well, R780.
So, Ahsoka's astromech.
Yes. It looks a bit like R4, but he's like white and green bits on him as
well. R4. But no, very cool set, and I quite like the fact because we weren't like originally for the January ones we'd said we're going to get the Acclimator, but then we sort of like after watching the video and getting Anakin's, we're like, this goes really well with it. This will be a good purchase.
I'll show you a picture of the ones like on display from my Trooper event, so you guys can see.
That's very cool. And I mean, like we said, the ARC 170 Starfighter also is came out today and looks very cool, to be fair. I was looking at it and I was like, that might be a future one. Because
The
I
one
quite
with Oddball and like all the other little.
so it comes with 3 clone pilots: Oddball, Jax, I think it is, and like an unnamed one, and an astromech. So that might be very cool.
Yeah.
So that's it for the personal news. In terms of like
Lego
things we've got.
news.
Yes, in terms
There's a
of
lot
Lego.
of Lego.
But we'll be doing a post tomorrow anyway, so you'll be able to see the sets. Now, moving on to Hot Toys. Now, this is quite funny, I will admit. So, if you guys know anything about Hot Toys, you know that when they get announced, it is normally a little bit of time before before they actually get shipped and sent to you. Right. So this is the Darth Malgus Hot Toy, and he looks so cool. He looks badass. His lightsaber hilt, his like whole like body demeanor, the mask, the lights, like look so cool. But this is my thing about it. So when I was looking it up about the figure and checking it out, do you know when this figure ships?
No.
This figure, if you pre-ordered it today, will ship to you between January and June 2026.
So you got to wait basically
Over
a year for this.
Because, like I said, between January and June next year. Now, I mean, obviously, I get it that, you know, they give it a lot of time for people to put orders in and all that, but still, this you've got to wait an hour. No, sorry, no, a year.
An hour.
Sorry, not an hour. You got
Could
to wait.
you imagine? You just put in the order, yeah, get it in an hour.
I wish.
I wish Amazon Prime was there. Not gonna lie.
You got to wait a year or over. That's crazy. Do you know what? You should make a note of it, and we should do like when we do one of our episodes in January next year.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should do a thing saying, "Has anyone got the Darth Malgus Hot Toy yet? If so, let us know.
Let us know.
It's been over a year now."
Yep.
But he does look very cool, and the detail on him is absolutely impressive.
I know, like just by looking at these pictures, it like blows you away. And also, I've never seen Malgus without his mask, and you do get to see him without his mask, and you kind of see why he wears a mask because he does look very ugly. I'm not gonna lie.
He looks very evil as well, doesn't he? But he's got that whole like evil presence, doesn't he? Like look at the eyes, the Sith eyes, the veins. This guy's clearly worked in retail.
Yep.
He's had enough of customers, so he decided to join the Sith, and I can't blame him. But I also like the fact that you get quite a bit of customization with him. Like you can add in the Sith lightning coming from his hand, sort of quite cool to go with the like stand that it comes with. So yeah, very cool figure.
I do like the lightning. It does look cool.
I do, but I also
not all just one color. It's got the little.
It's got a bit of white. It's got a bit of purple. But I think if I was to have him like as a display, I think I might go for like that.
Yeah, I mean that's the iconic look, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's such an evil like pose as well. Like if you look at it, you think, oh my god, he's gonna kill me. And he's the same height. I think he's a little bit taller, but I think he's about the same height as the damaged Darth Vader that we shown a couple of episodes ago, if I remember right. So that is that. Also, Hot Toys revealed. Now we're going to see a lot of this logo this year. So this is the 20 years of Revenge of the Sith logo. So you know how in some of the Lego sets and the like T-shirts that you could get at Celebration, and you know, stuff like that. They had the like 20, was it 20 years of the Clone Wars? Like it was the clone and the 20,
yes.
wasn't it?
And then they had the one at Celebration for
75.
The what's it called? Return of the Jedi.
75 years, I think it was, something.
Yeah.
But yeah, something crazy. But I quite like this. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's really good, and you know, it's got the most iconic scene, which is the Battle of Mustafar, and also Vader, which the whole point of Revenge of the Sith is about, really. And also every bit of packaging that we had in like 2005 had Vader on it, and it was like very similar sort of picture to this, where you could see like the sort of outlines and the shine on his helmet.
I quite like how
cartoony.
Yeah, I quite like how one side of it is like red and the other is like white, almost like dark and good, because that is technically Vader.
Yeah.
But and the fire all around it as well, looks pretty good.
I know. It's like lava.
So you're going to be getting this logo on basically Lego sets. You know, that's like anniversary set of whatever. You know. You'll probably get it on figures as well, like vintage collection. You might get it. You'll be getting T-shirts of it, because I know there was the clone one at Celebration. I think I got it. I think.
Yeah.
No, sorry, no. I think I got the fridge magnet of the clone one.
You got the T-shirt as well.
Not the clone one.
Not the clone one, the Vader one at Celebration.
The 75th, no, because I got Revenge of the Jedi one. I didn't get the actual. No, I did. No, you're right. No, sorry, my bad.
I know more about his wardrobe than him.
I don't even know. No, because you're right.
You definitely did.
Because one of the T-shirts that I pre-ordered with it didn't arrive or whatever. So when I went into the shop and the bloke said about it, he was like, "That's right, you can pick another one."
Yep.
So I chose the 75 whatever. I can't. That's not 75 years, was it? What was it?
It was 50 years.
50 years. Oh, I can't remember. It was an anniversary. I don't know. I'm getting my dates wrong. But yeah, no, you're right. I did get that instead.
Yeah, very similar.
Cool.
But we love Vader and we love these little.
And I think this would be cool for something like on a package, like a Lego set or something, like, I don't know, or the like jewel on. Oh yeah, like that. Good thinking.
Or a fridge magnet.
Fridge magnet will also.
Ring, anything. Anything with Vader on.
But yeah, that's really it for the figures and that. Again, because there hasn't been a lot since, but there's still quite a bit. Now I got to give these two bits of Lego a shout out. They aren't our pieces, but they are pieces that I have seen from other people. So someone for Christmas got the Tuxedo Cat Lego set, and obviously they've decided to put the Boba Fett helmet on him. So this is the Catalorian. You know, I just come up with that. It's quite fun. So I thought this was quite
Cat.
Yeah, Boba Cat. Meow 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 meow. But yeah, I thought this was quite funny.
Boba meow.
But yeah, I think I wanted to give it a like
the meow DeLorean.
We need to stop.
I know,
we're back. But it is quite funny though. It's quite good.
So it's just the Tuxedo Cat, but instead of having his head on him, he's got Boba Fett's helmet on him.
Well, they've just put the thingy on him.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, so you know, you mentioned earlier the mid-scale ships. So you know, like we got the Acclamator and whatever. So you know the Millennium Falcon one. So this person made these two ships, these two figures out of this one Millennium Falcon set. Now, I know it's not Star Wars, but it is RoboCop and Ed 209 from RoboCop. Now, I was so impressed with this because, all right, I know it's not Star Wars, but they have made these two figures
Out of a Star Wars set.
out of a mid-scale Star Wars set.
Yeah.
Like, how creative do you have to be to come up with that out of one set?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Oh,
Got to give a shout out to I can't remember who it was, but again, it was a poster we saw like in this, one of the communities and that they were part of, and that's absolutely brilliant. Fair play to them. So, going into the episode, I didn't realize this. I don't know if you knew it before the episode.
No, I didn't either.
But it was directed by Bryce Dallas Howard. She always puts in an episode at some point, doesn't she? In something,
She does.
No, I said to you, she loves X-Wings. I swear every episode that she has done has basically included an X-Wing in it. So she did this episode with the X-Wings that obviously show up for like a brief bit in the episode. In the Book of Boba Fett with the Mandalorian episode, Luke's X-Wing turns up. With the episode in the Mandalorian she did of season 3 with the like creature taking Vizsla's kid with Mando and that chasing after it, Carson Teva shows up in an X-Wing at the end.
Yeah.
Like, she loves an X-Wing.
Yeah.
Fair play to her. But again, I didn't know she was. Didn't realize she was in it, like making an episode for this. But I'm glad she did because it was a good episode, and it's always nice to see that she's still a part of Star Wars making episodes, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we sort of continue. So we go into the episode now?
Yeah.
So we sort of continue straight off the bat from where we left off last
so the
episode.
Kids obviously pushed the stall. They went through the little hatch door, and then it's basically straight away following on from that. So they're going down this like tunnel, and they're all just like, ah! And then they fall out, and then you see like the sort of snowy area
Landscape, isn't it?
and the pipe they fell out of looks quite gammy, not gonna lie.
Well,
it's like sort of dripping and it looks all like dirty.
It's like it's a sewage one, isn't it?
Yeah.
And as you can see here, KB's even got like gunky thing on her visor. So we sort of see the kids be like, "You okay?" Yeah, and they sort of get up, and then Neil notices KB is led on her back and she's not moving. And all of a sudden everyone's a bit of a panic. And she says something about she thinks her Oggs have gone bad. And well, we sort of realise as well that, as her mum's mentioned in a couple of episodes ago, that she has urgent medical needs. Like, we learn about those in this episode. So the kids sort of get her up and help her, but we learn that she's not good.
No,
she's not good. She needs a bit of help. Then we cut to, I think it's then the logo turns up, and then it comes to Jod coming out of this hatch on the like landing platform, and he's obviously leaving Reynard's lair covered in gold, jewelry, treasures. Like, he's smiling and laughing. He's like, "I've done it, I'm rich," sort of thing. And
little does he know, all of the people that work at this like resort are like stood there.
Yeah, they're like watching him, and he's like
watching him come out with all this like jewelry and gold and riches on him.
And they're like looking at him and a bit like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And
it's
he's
like, "You ain't getting away with that."
And he's like, "Right, well, I'd like a quick checkout before I leave. Like, I want to go as quick as I can." And then we see that some of the pirates, including Pocket, survived the acid chamber, which some of them clearly didn't make it, but looks like more of them survived than you think.
Yeah.
And he tries telling the pirates, I was going to come to you and I can make you rich. Like,
he's like, down there, there's so much riches. Like, you know, but they're like, no.
And
you'll come with us,
it's like,
Captain Silvo.
He doesn't put on much of a fight,
no.
Which I was a bit surprised about. I was expecting a bit more, considering we literally see him with the lightsaber. Now I know one of the
guys,
the pig, they're like not pig, but they're like
the guy in the background.
Yeah, the guy that looks like
Also, thought I'd just mention quickly. There's a bit where SM-33 comes out and he's like, attack them, and then one of them like blasts SM-33 and he's like, and then flops. And then he's like, oh, SM-33. So like, obviously he ain't got no backup and he's just like, Will's laughing at my impression of SM-33 like getting electrocuted.
That was such a good That was so good. That was realistic.
There you go.
I thought you just got hit with an ion shot. So we sort of see as well.
So he ain't got much of a backup with him, so I think he just sort of gives up and he's like, there's too many of these for me to fight on my own, sort of thing.
And one of the pirates takes his lightsaber.
Yeah.
And we also see that like SM-33 had loads of like jewels around him as well. I think in this one you can see, so he's got
there you go.
This is him with like his chains and all that.
He's like pimped up SM-33.
Yes.
He's gangster.
So we see that obviously like Pocket's also there as well, and she's like, no hard feelings, Silver, you're like Rash or whatever his name is.
Yeah. So then they're taking him away, and then you see someone, I can't remember who it was, I don't know if it's the guy in the background, but someone picks up SM-33 as well, and they're dragging him along.
No, because what happens is, all of a sudden, some X-Wings appear. So one of the people in the, the staff is called the New Republic.
Yeah.
So the X-Wings have now shown up, and that's when the pirates are like, quick, let's go. So they like march Jod to the ships, and they also drag SM-33. Now we
know that SM-33 is still with Jod.
Yeah. So then the kids sort of all sort of together, and they look up and they see the pirate ships leaving the sort of dock, and the X-Wings are now pursuing them.
Yeah.
And they shoot down one of the ships, one of the pirate ones. There was only two of them, but then
one of them says like, "Oh, they look like the ships that Kim." I think it's Wynn that says it.
They look like X-Wing, or what it's like. They said like, "Oh, they're X-Wings."
He mentions Kim. So he's like, "I think those are the ships that Kim called or something."
But then he's like, "They're X-Wings," and then he's like, "They're actually the good guys."
Yeah.
Look.
So then they're there like waving. They're like, "Come help us!" Yeah. And then obviously the X-Wings aren't looking at them
because they're
chasing
the pirates, and they shoot one of them down.
Like, oh, man. How are we going to get out of this place?
So then the kids basically, Wim finds these like little crawly like crabs, but they have droid and other parts of like scrap on their back, but they talk because they're like, follow, follow, follow. So Wim's like, oh, these are good guys, they're cool. But Fern notices as well that the Onyx Cinder is still on the platform above them, and she's like, look, if we climb up here, like we'll be able to get back to the ship and get out of it.
KB sort of storms off.
Basically KB is like
no,
it's all about you, sort of thing. And then she's like, guys, stay here. I'm gonna speak to
Mhm.
KB. And we see that there's a bit of tension, a bit of friction
Mhm.
between KB and Fern, because KB's basically
She's
like,
I can't do everything that you can do, and you need to realise that sort of thing.
but I don't think she says it, because that's the point of the thing.
Yeah.
Like, but she says to her that like it's all about you, and you know, like whatever. And they basically get interrupted by Wim being like, "Look at all these like trash creatures."
And Neil's like, Fern, there's spiders. Bless him.
Bless little Neil. So then basically they come up with two ideas.
Mhm.
Wim is like, look, let's follow these creatures. They can lead us to someone who can help.
Mhm.
And Fern is like, let's climb the ladder and let's get back to the ship that way.
Yeah.
Wim doesn't want to do that. He thinks
No.
we need to follow the crabs. Neil's a bit like, I don't really like the crabs.
Mhm. And then KB's like, I'm with Will. And then they're like,
Everyone's a bit shocked, like, oh.
And then Fern's like, well, I guess we're splitting up then.
Yeah.
And she was like, I guess we are.
So then a little bit of a fight.
Yeah. So then obviously KB and Wim are together, and then Neil's like, oh, I don't really want to leave Wim, but also I feel like this way's better.
Yep.
So
and then they're like,
oh, we'll meet back up.
He's
after.
like, we'll see you. We'll pick
We'll
you.
pick you up.
He's like, no, not if we pick you up first.
Yeah.
Which is quite interesting. But also we do learn why KB didn't want to go that way in a sec. It's quite interesting because it's nice to see different dynamics with the group. We've seen Wim and Neil. We've seen Fern and KB together. They're like the two friends. So it's nice to now see Neil and Fern getting a bit of like time together, and Wim and KB. And I think KB quite likes Wim in terms of his like how nice and friendly and like innocent he is.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't see bad sort of things in people. He's always like care. He actually cares, and he says and KB says to Fern about, you don't care about me, sort of thing.
And when I was watching it, I was like, I mean, what sort of way would you have gone? So like me personally, when I was watching it, I was thinking like, yeah, they should climb up the mountain, because then they would get straight to the ship.
Because it is literally one vertical
Because you don't know where the
line.
crabs are taking them. But then I was thinking, well, the crabs could take them to like some sort of human, and then they'd be like, oh, how do we get up there, sort of thing. But
there's a lift.
when I was watching it, I was thinking climbing up the mountain is probably the safer option.
Well, we say a mountain, but it's literally a vertical staircase.
Yeah.
But it's a very long way.
How are they going to get up there, though? Are they going to have to like rock climb? But then obviously in the episode you see them climbing up the ladder. So that would be the way I would have gone, I think.
Yeah, same in my opinion. I love this photo as well. There's a reason why it's the thumbnail as well, because I think it's nice that we get focus on KB here. Yeah. This episode is about KB, really.
And I think it's nice that she got her own episode finally as well, because, I mean, like we said, a lot of the episodes have been about Wim or Neil or Fern, because she's been like the sort of leader figure, and we haven't seen much of KB, and I feel like this episode we saw a lot more of her.
Yeah, but we learned a lot more about her as well, which I think is important. Is like I said, the character development in this is spot on.
Yeah.
Here, those little crabs, by the way, and they've all got like different stuff on them. But really interestingly, there was some little.
We both noticed the same one.
We noticed the same one. So as the like group is sort of moving together, you see different components and stuff. So there's one with like a leg on it, which looks like a C-3PO leg. This one looks like he's got like a mouse droid sort of on him. But the one that was really noticeable was there was one with a stormtrooper on his
a stormtrooper
back.
helmet.
Yeah.
as his shell.
Yeah, so it was just like a stormtrooper here. I thought it was quite
If
funny.
we can get the picture next week, then we'll show you
Yes,
guys.
definitely. We'll try and find it. It was so
It's
funny. So we then cut to space, and we see the like one of the pirate ships. Well, the other one has like jumped in from hyperspace, but it's damaged. You can see it like smoking, which is quite cool.
I think from where obviously the X-wings were firing at it.
Yeah, and obviously hit it.
Certain bits, yeah.
But we see them like approach Brutus's fleet and like command ship. Now, someone pointed this out in a breakdown. I don't believe it.
No.
I said there's no way, but someone reckons this ship here is a Venator.
Definitely not.
That is not a Venator. Basically, I think the reason they think that is because it's got the like
sort of
the bridge that looks very similar, and it's a bit triangular long.
Yeah.
But it's so small and compact. I think it's more like one of these like Imperial like ones.
Yeah.
Or, you know, there's
like
so many ships in Star
Wars. Type
Wars.
of a light cruiser.
Yeah, definitely. But
has been pirated.
So yeah, so obviously we see this. Again, it's not a Venator, but if it is confirmed to be a Venator, I will be very surprised. But it's not. So we then sort of see Jod handcuffed, sat at a table in front of Brutus, and he's got this really cool, like, you know, those like hourglass timers. So he's got one of those next to him, and he's like, Captain Silvaro, you have been charged with mutiny or something or whatever. The sentence is death. And everyone's like, "Hey," cheering and all that. But then one of the pirates is like, he's got the Court of Appeal because he has, you know, it's the pirate code, and they are very, very strict.
Very well. And then
he
uses the little hourglass.
And it's so cool. It's like a little lava lamp, but like in an hourglass thing. So I'd like one of those. That'd be so cool. Like.
Yeah.
So Jod, being his like talkative, like manipulative self, starts off by saying like, "I'm hungry. I'm really hungry," and everyone's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah. And they're like, "Okay."
And basically, he's like, "I've lived off, you know, scraps for my whole life. I've had enough of it. I want the big score." And he's like, "I can give it to you. You need to trust me." And then he starts like singling out the pirates, and he's like, I can't remember his name, but he's like, "You want a like sea kelp farm?" He's like, "Follow me and you will have an ocean of it." And then he goes over to someone else. He's like, "What did you want? You wanted a command, didn't you? I'll give you a fleet you can command." And they sort of start buying into it. And then he's like, says about Captain Renard, and he starts singing the like pirate chant, like a little shanty about Captain Renard.
Yeah.
And he says, "What's the last line?" And one of the no, that wasn't the last line, but it was one of the lines. And it's like, what's the last line? And then it's like, plundered at Atin or something like that. And he's like, I know the coordinates. I have it. I can take you there right now. And then the hourglass is like done. And Brutus is like, time's up.
Yeah. There's like a certain bit where he's saying a speech and Brutus sort of stops him and he's like, "I still see some time left." Yes. Captain Brutus. You know.
He's like,
that Brutus impression was really good actually. Where he's like, "Time's up."
Well, thank you. Your SMP getting shot with that was brilliant. We've already got a highlight of the year.
We should be
highlight
of the year. Episode 1 of the year.
No, I'm saying we've got a highlight for the end of the year.
Yeah. But yeah, we should do impressions.
But no, so he sort of then like grabs him, he like marches him over towards the airlock. He's like, look, I will get you there. He also does say as well, I forgot to mention, he's like, we all agree Brutus makes a good first mate. But he's like, he'll give you the bare minimum. He's like, I will give you like the riches, whatever. So he marches him over, and basically it looks like he's now been spared because Brutus puts him up against the like glass to the airlock and turns his head, and he's like, if it doesn't pay off, you're going in the airlock.
Yes. And then he sees like a bunch of stuff just fly out into space.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, okay.
What have I started?
But we do obviously know, so obviously they're going next episode. They're probably going to be going to Atassin with SM-33. So yeah, so they're on their way there.
This episode is going to be the dramatic one.
Yep. So.
Wim and KB.
Yep. So we cut to sort of Wim and KB, and they're going along, and then Wim's distracted by like some garbage, and there's like a droid face, like a droid is in it.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, oh, I wonder what.
There's like a little bug that crawls out of the eye, just like the rat that's in like SM-33's eye.
And he's like, I hope SM-33's alright. And then he turns around and KB's like sat on the floor.
Yeah.
And he's like, KB. And she's like, I can't move. My things have been corroded. Like.
He's like, what do we do? And she's like, you have to help me make a new one. And he's like, what do I do?
She was like, grab some wires, like component wires. And then he like quickly runs off. He's like,
grabs all these little bits.
And she's just sort of sat there.
Is this okay? And she's like, it'll have to do.
And then she's like, take torch, the sort of thing. And you can see that like
gradually she's like deteriorating.
And then he takes the torch and he starts burning the wires and the thing, and she's like making a hole sort of thing. Oh wait, no, sorry. As well, before that, she gets him to go to the back of her head.
And she's like, take out this particular part, and he's like, what is that? What does it look like? I don't know what that is. And she's like, oh, it's just a long, small cylinder. So then obviously after he opens it, you see what she's on about, and you're like, oh yeah, that does look burnt out.
But it is quite interesting because you see like you can see the detail in like her, like obviously this head bit is connected into her head.
Yeah.
You know, she is very much like Lobot, like, you know, computer taking over. But I think she's more human than Lobot, if I remember when we were talking about him. Because I think because he had no like communication at all, but she's like still got that human side to her. But this obviously, and she says about she hasn't had maintenance in so long, and she needs like regular maintenance, which is obviously her urgent medical care. And then
we learned she had an accident at some point. We don't know what that was, but this is why she has all these like cybernetics.
Yeah, so she was obviously saved by having these cybernetic implants like into her head. And she also sort of reveals to Wim that, you know, the reason she didn't go with Fern is because
she knew she wouldn't make it.
She said about since the accident, she's become very limited. She might be more intelligent, but practically and, you know, physically, she can't do everything that Fern wants to do, and she's not patient enough. And she is right, you know, but like Wim being Wim, it's like, well, tell her that you can't do it.
Yeah.
Like,
he's like, communicate.
Yes, communication is key.
It is.
And, you know, she's like, I've not had any friends since the accident or something, and she's very limited. And he's like, well, I'm your friend.
Yeah.
And he basically takes the old corroded metal, puts it into like the snowy dirt, and then pulls it out. So there's now like a hole. He burns the wires with the torch.
Yeah.
And he like pours it into the hole,
sort of mold. Yeah.
And it turns into like a tube, and she's like, it'll do, sort of thing. So then she's like, sort of, you can see that she's like almost like fading. He's like, KB, no. So he quickly like goes around, and he like
puts it in her head,
plugs her back in, and then she's like,
and he's like, what I do?
And then she comes back up, and she's like,
yeah.
And she sort of, I can move, I'm all good, sort of thing. And then she stands up, and she's like, thank you, Jedi.
That was close. And then he's like, close to what? And she's like, a full system shutdown. And it's like, how are you so calm about this, KB?
Okay. I was just.
You almost died.
But then she's like, when she stands up and she smiles at him and that, she's like, thank you, Jedi.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Jedi.
Yeah, and he's
that
like,
cute.
William's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my Jedi.
He's like, yes.
But shout out to KB. I can't remember the actress's name, but she was phenomenal in this episode. And they've all been good in every episode, but she really stood out in this one. Like, she portrayed that emotion of like, I can't express what I want to do and say to Fern.
Yeah.
But as well as being almost like cybernetic as well, being like almost robotic about it. Very good. Yeah. Very cool. So then we cut to Fern and Neil climbing the stairs with a like ladder, and Neil's like slowly getting there, but he's struggling a bit, and he's like,
slow down.
I'm not a spider like you.
Yeah.
I don't have spidery limbs like you or whatever. Because obviously he's quite like stubby little arms and legs. And then she finds a rope.
Yeah.
And she ties him to her to like help him. She's like, "Ready, go, sort of thing."
Yeah.
And that was quite cool. And Neil was like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
And then they notice the onyx cinder is being like picked up,
and they're like, no,
being taken to the scrap pile sort of thing. And
because they called like something disposal, didn't they?
Like waste disposal in the last episode. So it's obviously they're getting rid of the onyx cinder.
Yeah.
But it basically flies like under the sort of like crane platform bit that they're like getting to. So they jump onto one of the like crane things. Yeah. Which was quite cool.
Very brave of them.
Yes.
And also, I really felt for Neil because obviously he's tied to her with a rope, so he's just sort of getting dragged along. Like,
okay. We didn't have much choice, but he knows they had to get onto the ship, so they get onto the like little platform, and so Wim and KB come to like where like all the sort of crabs are. And they then obviously get introduced and come across to like the big one. And I know it might look a bit weird when you see it in the episode, but it is practical, the crab, and it is like stop motion.
Yeah.
Like, and it's the guy, I can't remember his name, but it was done by the guy who did like the Rancor.
Okay.
Like in Return of the Jedi, you know, like that whole like motion. So it does look very similar to that because the crab is very like almost like stop motion.
Yeah.
Because it's a practical puppet. And then we sort of realised that the crabs have brought Wim and KB here to be eaten.
Yeah.
Oh dear. And there's like should have gone with Fern. But you know, and then they notice obviously the onyx Cinder
Mhm.
coming in, and KB obviously with her like
Simon
visor,
Mhm.
Geordie LaForge, she can see that like Fern and Neil are on one of the things, and she's like steering it
Yeah.
down and close.
And Neil's like, "You need to go down." She's like, "I'm trying." I thought that was funny.
Yeah. Poor little Neil, he's hanging on for dear life. So they steer the like platform close to them, so they jump onto it. But then the like crab like fires, like chucks a rock
Yeah.
and hits one of the other 4 transporting things,
Yeah.
which sort of sends it into a bit of a out of control.
Yeah.
And the kids jump off into the snow,
Mhm.
but then the ship like continues and it gets dropped off at waste disposal.
Mhm.
And the kids like come up the hill and they see the ship, and we do see this in the trailer as well though. We see like the ship is approaching, not as close as this, but like this
Before
machine.
we see this though, there is
Oh,
a
yeah.
bit of a moment
True.
where Wim's like, "Fern, you were amazing."
Yeah.
And then
They all sort of have a little
they
moment
all have a little cuddle.
because Fern comes over to KB and she's like, "I'm so sorry," and KB's like, "I'm sorry."
Yeah, I think that was like one of the best bits of the episode where like she admitted that like, you know, she shouldn't have left KB.
Yeah.
And KB's like, "Yeah, I shouldn't have let you go on your own, but
And then Fern's
I was
like,
just scared to tell you like that I couldn't do it," sort of thing.
she's like, "Tell me."
Yeah.
Please.
And I really like that.
Yeah.
That was
and then like they all like Neil and
Wim
join
up the
in.
mountain. And then
No, because Neil and Wim join in with the hug as well, don't they? They're
yeah.
like, oh. And then they hear like a big sort of crashing sound, run up this hill.
And I'm like,
we gotta get to the ship.
forgot the Onyx Cinder. Go save it.
So we sort of see the Onyx Cinder like in this pile.
And it's not this bad to start with.
No,
it's like about a meter away or whatever. They quickly run on the ship. And then they're like, "How do we get started? What did SM33 do?" And then KB's like, "I remember what he pressed." And then starts like flicking a load of buttons and stuff. And then they're like, "Right. Okay." And then Wim runs to like the little gun on top. He's like, "I'll shoot it away."
Right, getting carried away.
Sorry.
But so no, it's fine. But we see that obviously this thing's about to eat the ship, and they're like, "Gotta save it."
Yeah.
So they quickly run on, you know, and it's like, how are they gonna do it? So sort of KB takes a bit of charge.
She does.
Which is quite nice to see. So she's like, "Right, Neil, you'll fly the ship."
Yeah. Just like you did with John.
She's like, "I'm gonna restart because she's like does the engine bit like you said, like she's like, "I'm gonna restart the engine."
Yeah.
And then Fern sort of sit there with Neil, and then Wim's like you said, "I'm gonna shoot it away."
Yeah.
So they're all like joined, like taking part and like getting involved with the saving of the ship. They're all like, "Yeah, we can all do it now. Like we're a crew."
Yeah.
So Wim goes up into the turret and starts like shooting at the like machine, but it's not working.
He's like, "Oh,
it's invincible."
Yeah.
And then we see that like.
I love that bit though because it's like, sorry to interrupt.
No.
It's like, you know, when you're playing like a PlayStation game or something, and then there's like this really hard boss, and you're like, "It's impossible! Can't do it!"
Yeah. No, you're spot on.
Like, it's so kid-like. I love it.
So
anyway, sorry.
No. It's spot on because it is how it's spot on to that. So, the kids then obviously like Neil's like trying to pull away, while like Fern is like hitting. No, Fern is trying to pull away, and Neil is like hitting the accelerator to like give it a thrust, and it's not working.
Nope.
And she's like, "You've got one more try." So KB's like, "Ready?"
KB's in like the sort of other room, and she's like, "I'll give you one more boost." And she's like pushing the buttons and like whacking it and stuff.
Yeah, and she's like, "Go!"
Trying to get it to go, but at this point, the claw is like clawing.
It is
the
like
ship.
on the ship now, like.
And they're like, how are we going to get this going? And you can see the back of it really wants to like move, but it's
Yeah,
getting
like that. It's
pulled
like
down.
by this machine. So they're struggling away.
And then Fern's like, what about this button here? And then
They're like, no, not the like whole destruction button.
Yeah.
And Neil's like, SM33 said don't ever touch it. And like Fern's like looking at it, and then she's like, oh, screw it.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's not a button, but it's like a lever.
Turn, yeah.
Should have been a button.
Like a big red button.
Yeah. But no, it's a. And then we see like the explosions going all along the hole. Mm-hmm. And it's like, huh? Yep. So then they start like pulling away. And you realise, I mean, you won't see it in this picture, but you realise, like, as the ship is being, like, sort of devoured, that it's losing its outer shell, like hull. Mm-hmm. But it turns out that the Onyx Cinder is actually a ship under this, like, armoured hull. Yeah. So it, like, pulls back, and we, like, get to see the real Onyx Cinder. Yeah. Which is this very like streamlined silver looking fancy looking ship. Mm-hmm.
You never know that was underneath
the other ship. I quite like the idea of it though, like a ship being like in another ship that you can like take out of it, because it is a nice looking ship as well.
It's almost like, you know, when you're playing like Grand Theft Auto and you go to Pay and Spray and then your car looks completely different to it did before.
Yeah.
There you go. But so if you're in trouble, then you hit that button or turn it, and then you got a completely different look on your ship.
But so I love the idea that like this is something that we've never seen in Star Wars, like a ship from another ship sort of thing. Like the ship that we've seen throughout the series is a fake, basically. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I will say, I said it to you when it happened, and it was quite funny, because all the kids are like, oh my god, what? This is so cool, like sort of thing. And they sort of fly off, and they all sort of gather in the cockpit, and KV's like, I've got the coordinates that are stored in me memory thing, because of seeing it, you know? And I thought that was quite cool. But I said to you, and I thought it was quite funny, all those people that have bought the Onyx Cinder Lego set, they're going to be watching this going, oh, bloody hell. Mine doesn't do that.
Yeah.
So they're like, I've got the fake Onyx Cinder now. I need to...
Because I was saying to you, I was like, oh, imagine if the actual Lego set, like, did separate like this. But I think
that would be really
because it came out like ages ago.
The set came out before we even had a trailer,
and also this part of the story would have been spoiled from that.
But so I
feel like they should have waited to bring a Skeleton Crew Onyx Cinder Lego set out.
But I do think that there is some very creative Lego people out there that will create that. Like,
I mean, they'll get that Lego set and then they'll just create sort of different instructions where you can build it.
Well, they will create like a new ship underneath it. Yeah. And have a way where you can just like slide it out.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Very cool. And someone will, when we do, we will show on it, because I know they will at some point. But that was really it. That was it for the episode. Yeah. I did really like it. Yeah, like I said, second shortest episode after episode 2.
But also, it makes me more excited for the next 2 episodes as well, because you know it's all about to go down in these next 2 episodes. They're gonna be going to Aang, and so is the pirates as well. So it's like, what is going to happen?
I think episode 8 is probably going to be a bit longer. Yeah. But I think episode 7, bit of a prediction. I don't think we're going to see a lot in it, but I think it's going to be like the kids and the pirates are doing their both own different story, and we're going to see a lot of AT-AT in that. I think it's going to be a lot of the families. Yeah. And then episode 8 is going to be like we're arriving at Atin, and either the pirates are going to be there first,
Yeah.
or you know what I mean, and then it's going to be something like that, I think. So I don't think a lot's going to happen next one.
Or a lot will happen next one, where they arrive on Atin, and then the last one will be. I reckon it will probably end on a cliffhanger, and then it will be the last one where everything goes down.
Could be. It could be that.
Getting the treasure, and who knows?
Do you know what I would also? I don't think they will, but it could also be quite cool that they do like. Basically, episode 7 is a bit of a flashback to like seeing more about At-Atin and what it actually is doing.
That's true.
So I'm not saying like we see like the Onyx Cinder coming to At-Atin, but we see like, I don't know, Wim's dad and family like doing something.
We will get a face reveal of the captain that was on the
Captain Renard.
Yeah.
Maybe. But you never know.
Maybe.
Do you know what I think they would do? Because I think this is the sort of show that would. The captain, if they do reveal his face, I think it might be Nick Frost. I'm not saying SM33 is the captain, but I'm saying they might make the captain, Captain Renard, and his look and face, Nick Frost.
No.
Because I think that'd be quite a cool little nod to be like, oh, he's actually got like a sort of appearance in it.
Because he could have put his voice into the droid as well.
Exactly, could have. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It was quite a good episode. So
I really liked it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Troopers of the Week?
Yes.
Okay, I'll let you go first.
So I have found it. It's the 2 Lego sets on display. The
one that I mentioned?
Yes. So
very cool.
Essentially, this is our plan for our Lego Jedi Interceptors. So these ones aren't the actual Lego ones. These are like, people make like the custom Lego sets. Like you often see like the lightsaber ones at Comic-Con and stuff like that. So that it's a what's it called? I think it's called Brick Vault. And they have like various different Lego sets of different things in Star Wars. But yeah, these are really cool. And I love the stands as well. And also, they've gone into extra detail and they've got little buzz droids and like fire. And they've put them onto the little Jedi Interceptors. So it looks like the beginning of Revenge of the Sith. But this obviously isn't Ahsoka's. This is Kenobi's starfighter, and then Anakin's at the back. But yeah, really cool. And that one's the especially like that with both of them there.
That's very cool, and I think that'll look very nice.
But they're called Brick Vault. So shout out to them.
Good. Shout out to Brick Vault. So for mine, I'm gonna go for a guy on Instagram called Slipping Around. He does like sort of custom figures and that. So he's basically put like, that's a wrap on 2024. Pretty productive as the customs go, but here are some of the ones that they've like made and still got. So he's got like some of the like clones of like 501st armors, but like the like stealth pilot armors. And, like he's also got like the droids as well.
Beefy clankers.
Like some custom beefy clankers. Yeah, very cool. Just something a bit different. Yeah. Like I like a bit of custom figures, and again, like I love that like clone pilot, stealth pilot, but he's done it in 501st colors.
That's really cool.
Very cool. He's also done like an airborne as well, which is quite cool. like on the end here with like 501st colours.
Oh yeah.
With a bit of a chrome. Very nice.
Kind of like Commander Green.
Yeah, but as Commander Green was 501st.
Colours, yeah.
Yeah. So that's it for Troopers. Now, Meme, I saw this literally probably like an hour before the podcast. And I was like, this is so relevant for 2025 and today's episode. So it's Anakin, and it says, I hope 2025 brings you peace. Oh, we're back. We're back live. Sorry about that. I think
Sorry, guys, if you're watching this live. It seems to be an issue with our internet dipping out.
I think that's given us a thing to be like, wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
But yeah, I hope 2025 brings you freedom, justice, and security.
Yeah.
Yes, your new year.
Yes.
Now, we will be back next week for episode 7, The Skeleton Crew, which is crazy.
And it'll be episode 135 as well for the Com Chat.
That's crazy that it's gone this far. And may it live on.
Yes. Well, we hope you guys have had a happy new year, and we'll see. We will be doing a lot more this year, hopefully, for the Com Chat podcast.
Yes.
Because we want to engage with you guys more.
Yeah.
Like, more posts on our Instagram and TikTok, and we're going to get some special guests on this year as well.
And, we also, obviously we'll go into it as the year goes on, but on our little wrapped 2024 post that we did
on our Instagram,
we've already had someone that we've not had contact with before reach out and be like, definitely we'll be getting involved next year with you guys, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a good one. It's going to be good. Yeah. So that's it from us, guys. I hope you had a good evening with us and enjoyed our breakdown. We will see you on Thursday. So from me, may the force be with you guys.